Well, I mean, it's good that you keep that open mind because I was having a chat with a friend the other day, and they said like, oh, my grandpa sort of he passed away a couple of years ago, and he never had a computer, he never had an email address, he could barely switch a computer on, and yet here you are into your 70s now with such a remarkably open mind and willingness to adapt and use the technology that's available to you. Was that something that you could foresee when the internet first came along and personal computers came along, that it was going to have quite a big influence in how um, the Methodist Church communicated its message and its values?
Yeah, definitely. I showed you that first little zine we published, uh, which we did on an ancient machine now called a risograph. Um, Very different technology from today's high quality laser output. But we learned a lot over the time. Now, this is a booklet I recently put together, a zine called The Soul, a Biblical Alchemy by Carl Jung. And there's very little difference in how we laid it out. Basically, it's all about page design. It's not just the content you've got to be able to design it well. And that's what I most appreciated about one of your very recent videos. It was an instruction, I think, on how to use, was it Reddit or the other, Quora? And I watched this through the whole way, and I thought, now here's a great example of instructional video. Hmm. How you got into the subject, how you were going to use the layout that was before you on screen to go through to create your ads and your audience and so on. And I thought, if I was trying to learn about how as a beginner, I could use social media uh, to market my product. This is exactly what I'd want to see on a YouTube channel. I thought it was very, very well done. Um, so you had instructional design at the back of your mind, and you designed your video very, very well. It was highly sequential. This is another zine that we've just put out. This is the latest one. It's on poetry, some of three of my favourite poems on how we interpreted a theological subject. And again, it's all about design. How can you get your concepts? Sure, you've got to write it down. You've got to be able to produce the words. You can edit that. You could use Chat GPT. You could use a
Mm.
Grammarly, a whole variety of things to get really good copy. But you've got to put your own stamp on it, and then you have to figure out, how am I going to get that out there? How's it going to communicate both in print and also in social media? And to me, there's a whole skill there. And that's why I was very grateful when you and I ran an experimental Facebook page. You encouraged me to set up a Facebook page, if you remember, called Live on Air. I've since taken it down, but with very little financial input. I think you got us up to about 60,000. Um,
It was
uh,
quite a substantial reach. I mean, like that was back when the CPMs or cost per cost per mile was significantly lower than it is now, and we were able to reach, must have been like over 2.5 million people with a very bootstrap type of budget, just because we were able to identify, I guess, talking about the things you were just mentioning before, like, the concept and design. That was a concept that we had with Live on Air, and how could we design ad creatives and promote it to an audience that was going to respond and engage to it in an effective way.